Now then, hobbyists. Swiftly moving past the early days of the Beetle and its origin story, let's look at how the car captured the hearts of so many people with its compact design, rounded shape, and happy-go-looking exterior. You can see why people thought that Beetles had a real charm, caring attitude without being hypocritical. The car was soon adopted by the hippie movement, and during the Summer of Love, no doubt they would have piled miles onto them. And from the look of it, a lot of them headed west in America to go to the sunshine of California. How many made it? I would not like to say. But when you're able to make the car a star of its own movie, with a questionable background like the Beetle, you know it has a wide and varied fan base, and by the look of it, most VW Beetle owners seem very happy. The reason this is relevant is that the most recent purchase is this VW Beetle Rally on the MF-01X chassis. Why, you may ask? Well, the reason is I quite like the Tamiya NSU-TT Jägermeister on the M05 chassis, but as you will see from previous videos, the chief engineer has already snaffled this one. There's no real problem with us owning the same cars, it's just I thought there are others out there. The next car I looked at was the Tamiya VW Carman Gear, but I've never seen one of these in real life, and quite frankly, I don't even know where to start with this one. I did briefly look at the Tamiya Citroen 2CV Charleston, but apart from using it in a novelty allo style video, it wasn't really one that I've ever wanted to own. My primary school headmistress used to drive a Citroen Dolly, and it was the most awful white and pea green striped colour combination, so no thanks. I do really fancy though a Tamiya Sand Scorcher, but my pocket money wouldn't stretch that far. And then I saw this, the Tamiya Beetle Rally, and the price was amazing, and even though it was in Bonnie, Scotland, shipping was free. So, as you can see, here it be. The box art looks amazing as ever from Tamiya, and it's even got one of these shiny stickers on it to say VW approves. So let's have a look what's in the box. Everything is neatly packed inside. Well, it won't be for long. First out the box is the ESC, which is actually not included in this kit, but I like to buy Tamiya ESCs. You can buy aftermarket ones, but I like to use the Tamiya ones. And if you're new to the hobby, the ESC is basically the brain, and any scarecrow will tell you it's good to have a brain. Next up is parts trees H and J. This is the dressings for the body. One complaint is that I bet under the chrome is just black plastic, which is annoying as when you cut it from the tree, it exposes this. Here we are, the bag of bits. All the screws, nuts, washers, clips, springy things, whatchamacallits and doohickeys. Enough to fill a blunderbuss. I do like the way Tamiya applies logic to this though, and still names them as bag A, B, C and D. Included in the general bag is the motley crew of parts tree G, which is the gear bag. As a footnote, a bag of gear is something completely different. Remember this when at your local hobby shop. We also have parts tree P, which is the servo saver. I'm in two minds whether or not to upgrade this straight away, as it may stop issues further down the line. Actually included in this kit is the Tamiya torque tuned motor, and I feel in this car it will work really well. Remember the difference between power and torque. Power is how fast you hit the wall, whereas torque is how far you take the wall with you. Also, let's not forget the shaft. I find it thoughtful of Tamiya to always include a jelly mould with all of its kits. As you can see, it's a polycarbonate body. One thing that did scupper the first ideas for this car was that you can't seem to buy a polycarbonate rattle can in beige. Comment below if you know of any. I do have a paint job picked out for this car, so check out future videos to see the progress. Parts tree L. This looks like rally style lights. Finding these when they ping off I'm sure is going to be fun. We get two pieces for parts tree C. Now we're looking at some of the parts to actually do the build. I'm not sure why, but I do find these very H.R. Geiger-esque in their looks. Here is parts tree B. This car does not have a bathtub style chassis, so these will make up the main part of this chassis. Only now do we actually get to parts tree A. Basically, this is the house for the gearbox to live in. Most of the car will be built around this. It's also worth pointing out at this part, it gives a better finish when cutting the parts from the tree to give the exposed part a general rub with sandpaper to smooth it off. It will give you an enormous sense of well-being. Now, here are the wheels. In fairness, these are the smallest I have really seen, but they do look good. I will be keeping them in the grey, and I think if the years of watching Pimp My Ride back in the day has taught me anything, good rims are important. And a good sob story. Next up is tyres. They're black, they're round, and they're springy. They look really good, and because it is a rally car, the tread shows, but I think these will do the job perfectly. Last part tree in the box is part tree F. This comes in red to give highlights to what would be a grey and black chassis. A hint of colour like this does go a long way. Another optional extra that isn't really optional is bearings. Why Tamiya? Naturally, Tamiya includes all the how-to stuff for you. Thankfully, the kit does come with window masks. If you do need to know how to make window masks though, I do have a video, so please click here. We get a good amount of decals. I will not be using many of these though for my build, but I'm sure they will come in handy one day. The instruction book is very clear with good pictograms, and as soon as my servo shows up, the build will begin. So you don't miss out on further videos and similar nonsense, please like, feel free to comment, definitely subscribe, and press that bell-shaped thingy to be woken up at all hours for further content. But for now, that's your lot.